Hey, what's going on? My name's Mike, and I do a bunch of crazy stuff. You've probably seen me on doing these short videos and stuff like that. But on this side, I'm going to start making it a little bit more serious and doing some projects and stuff. So if you're a redneck and you like working with tools and stuff, because I'm just a hobbyist out here. So I've got this Chinese mini excavator. I've looked at the different types of implements and I've seen people build implements, but this winter, it's October 31st now, it's Halloween. I'm going to be doing a couple of things for a 1-ton Chinese mini excavator that I haven't seen. For one thing, I'm going to hook my log splitter up and I'm going to make it to where I can come down over the top of a log. You know, these logs that really suck to handle, like are 300 or 400 pounds, and you know, see people breaking their backs trying to load those things in the back of a truck. I know, I've done it. You know, put a couple of boards and try to roll one on the back of your trailer. That sucks. So I'm going to take an old Harbor Freight log splitter, put it on a Chinese mini excavator. I'm going to flip it upside down, take the tanks off, run the hydraulics from the Chinese mini excavator, come down over the top of the log and squeeze it. Now I've actually seen these log splitters for excavators, but I have not seen a build for a 1-ton. There's another video of a guy that made one of these for, I think he had a 2-ton, maybe a 6-ton, and it comes down. I thought that was cool, and I was like, that would be awesome if I can make this 1-ton Chinese mini excavator split logs. And the thing is, the way the log splitter works, you can actually grab the pieces and load them in the back of the trailer and drop them, and you won't even have to, or you can put them over the top of your trailer and split them right over the top of your trailer. That's a pretty cool idea, and that's what I'm going to be doing. But first of all, I have to do this project, which is how to build an attachment piece so that you can make any implement you want. And this video is going to show you how to build the plate that holds any implement that you can think of, anything that you wanted to come up with in your head if you're a creative person. This video is going to show you how to build that first part that operates your Chinese mini excavator. I don't think, let's just get into the video because I'm not making any damn sense here. Steel that I have, all the steel that I have for this project is 3/8 inch thick. That is 4-inch plate, and I've got 2 pieces at 7 inches long. I've got one plate that is 6-inch wide flat steel, 3/8 inch thick by 7.5. All right, 2 of these, 1 of these, and then I've got these at, let's see here, 1 3/4 by 1.5. I've got 4 of those. I'm thinking about using those for bushings, but we'll see here toward the end of the project. When it comes to drilling these out, I don't have a lathe or any really expensive stuff, so what I'm going to do is I am going to lay these on top of each other and get them as even, as straight as I can, and then I'm going to tack this side. I'm going to tack the top corner here. I'm basically going to weld these two together, but to where I can grind it off, because I want to separate them, but I want my holes to match up on both sides. See what I'm saying? And when you're doing this side, I would tack up here. You want to have one flat side that you're going to be able to put up there, and you're going to want to prep it, so you don't want to marl it up with some trashy tack weld. But we'll be able to cut these corners off and grind them completely off. You'll see what I'm talking about when we're done. So I just put a couple of tack welds around this thing, and I did that so that both pieces can be together, and when I drill the holes, they're going to be perfect. So I only have to measure on one piece. Once I get the holes drilled, I'll grind these tack welds off and snap these pieces back apart. Now I'm basing this off of my ripper tooth right here, and my caliper here says that the width at the edge of the holes is basically 4.5 inches. So as long as the width of the holes are 4.5 inches, we're good. If I turn that around, get in there, and we're at 4.50 inches. That's how far apart the outsides of the holes need to be. So I have a Harbor Freight drill press, and I'm using this Harbor Freight Hercules bit. See that right there? I'll get the name of it for you here in a second. But you don't want to use your drill press, at least if it's a Harbor Freight, because you need to turn these really slow. I'm actually going to use a DeWalt cordless to drill these holes out, and it's going to take a while. But if you use it on a drill press, even the slowest setting, it goes way too fast, and you'll burn up your bits in a hurry. I have already made that mistake. Step bits, I've burned up a lot of stuff in that drill press. When you need a slower application, it's best to hand drill it, or find yourself a friend that's got a really expensive slow speed drill press. It was just talking right there. Don't worry about it. The DeWalt, trying to drill holes that are 1 1/8 thick through 3/8 inch steel. Uh, the DeWalt isn't worth a damn. All right, so I went back to the drill press. The key thing to doing the drill press, because it does go fast, is take your time, grasshopper. A little bit, put oil on it. A little bit, put oil in it. Might take 5-6 minutes with the bit that I used. Oh yeah, let me show you what that is. What I used was a Hercules carbide tipped hole bit, and they look like this right here. I use step bits. I've used full size bits. I'm going to tell you, this is the bit you want to get. It works the quickest, the fastest. I burned up 2 step bits trying to make this video. I actually tried to do this project a couple months ago, and I went through 2 step bits because I thought I could step it in. It worked pretty good, but I was using the drill press, and my main thing was I was using that drill press. It was too fast of an RPM, and I just dulled the bits, and it kind of ticked me off because these bits are not cheap. I think this bit right here is 20 bucks, maybe 40 bucks. I'm not sure. I forgot what I paid for it because I bought it a couple of months ago, and it's just now whenever I've been able to get to this project. But yeah, that bit works pretty good. Hercules, and it's got a pilot bit in there too. You might want to get yourself a couple more of the pilot bits. I broke one off in this project because I wasn't taking my time. When you're drilling holes in steel, take your time, a little bit at a time. That's what I've learned anyway. I don't know about you, but steel, it's not a piece of pine board. Another thing that I found out, so this is the bit that I broke off in the steel, so I had to kind of off-center my hole by about a drill bit length because I could not break that damn thing out of there. And you also, excuse me, see that spring right there? Take some needle nose pliers and yank that damn spring off, and like I did with that one right there. Now I dulled both of these bits, so I went to a longer bit here, and you can see I've got this. This is a 1990s Harbor Freight drill press, and just you're just going in a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. I don't know if you can see the plugs that come out, but that's kind of the way that drill press, or that bit that I'm talking about, will bring these plugs out. And heck, I might be able to use that for a bushing or something later. I don't know. I save a lot of crap. My wife's always throwing it in the trash, so I got to hide that from her. So next step is take this apart and grind the sides off, and then I'll have 2 pieces, and those holes are going to be for my pins for my excavator. Get what I'm saying? All right. This thing hasn't had its V8 today, but when I'm talking about going slow on your drill press, I can't stress that enough when you're doing a project, and if you don't have like the proper shit to do it with, when you're setting up your drill press, if you got a Harbor Freight drill press, you want to put the motor side on the smallest pulley, and you want to put the belt on the largest pulley down here, so you got the slowest RPMs. Now, whenever you're coming down, you're just going to come down into the steel, come down, come up, let it cut some, bring it up, lots of oil, lots of ups and downs, and just take your time, and you'll get through this steel right here. So this is 2 3/8 inch, and right there is where I put the damn I broke drill bit off in there, so I off-centered that hole a little bit. But I'll do something. I tried to drill it on this side, so if you don't have that pilot bit in there, damn thing is just going to go everywhere. But so this is the final result, and this is the 2 plates that your pins are going to go through on your Chinese mini excavator. I think that this is going to be the last time I mention this, but when you're drilling through steel, take your time and go slow, or else you're going to pull your damn hair out, especially if you break a damn bit off in there and you got to do the stuff that I did. That's what I have learned, because I've tried this project a couple of months ago, and I was trying to make a video, and I scrapped all that. There's like, I probably should have kept the video, because some of the shit that I was saying was hilarious. But drill slow. Got me? All right. And get a drink. It smells like peanut butter cookies in this bitch. Hell, I might take a break. You know, now that I think about it, I'm using a titanium 125 welder. It's like a really cheap $140 welder at Harbor Freight to do this project. I don't have any steel clamps right now, but you can pick these up at Harbor Freight. They're mainly for wood, but they work on a lot of stuff. Just got to make sure when you're welding around them, you don't set them on fire. They're pretty cool. I think these are like $4 or $5. If you go to Ace or Lowe's, these things are like twice as much. So they might be 25% more now. I don't know. Still cheaper. Still cheaper. Harbor Freight's been around for a long time. I'm just glad that they closed the JC Penney down, because they went out of business. Harbor Freight moved in, and I've been in that damn store. I think I went to JC Penney 2 or 3 times in 15 years. And they moved Harbor Freight in. I've probably been there like a couple hundred times. So we'll get this off, and I'm gonna grind these tack welds off. I'll just kind of clamp it right here to the Harbor Freight dolly, like that. That's the cool thing about these little clamps. And then I'll grind these tack welds off, and guess what? I'm gonna be using a $14 Harbor Freight grinder with a cutting disc on it. All right. Okay, if you notice, I edited the volume of that down. There's no reason for me to sit here and videotape me doing something that people do on a regular basis. Grinding sucks, and I'm not gonna put you through that. No, I'm serious. I mean, who wants to listen to the sound of a grinder, you know, going crazy? Just, to me, it's too damn loud. I mean, seriously. Who wants to go through that anyway? Let's see if I can break this thing free. Oh, I got a little bit more right there. Might be able to break it free. And just like that, I've now got 2 pieces that are covered in oil. Now, let me go grab some pins. No, I'm serious. I mean, who wants to listen to the sound of a grinder, you know, going crazy? So I still have a little bit of prep here to do, but this is basically, so we cut those, and I'll set those on there like that. We're going to clean this up, weld that up really good, but the pins will slide through here. Now there's a little bit of a gap And that's what I'm talking about, the bushings. You see that? And we'll put the other pin in right there. The pins go in. It'll clamp on. This right here, weld to your piece of your implement. You can weld it all the way around. You could also drill some holes in there and tack weld or weld up the inside so it's got good firm. I don't know. Hey, if you're a welder out there, what would you recommend? Welding that all the way around, or also drilling some holes in there and you know, making sure it's welded in a few spots in the middle too. But I'm pretty sure that for a 1-ton excavator, if you just get a good weld all the way around whatever implement you're putting that on, it's going to work pretty good. But we're not done yet. We'll finish the entire project. And you can use these pins. So I might have, you could have probably went with a 1-inch hole, but I'm planning on making some bushings for this. And then once you put the bushings in, you'll have a tighter fit on the pin. You know what I'm saying? So this is actually just going to go on a piece of angle iron, and I'm going to make a grading bar out of it. Like a 4 or 5 foot grading bar over there. See that piece of angle iron right there? I'm going to use that for a grading bar. I may go a little bit insane with it and put a little rolly wheel or something like that on the back of it, but I'm having fun here. This is not me trying to make $1 million. This is me just being retired. As retired as I want to be. I'm not driving a semi anymore. This is what I'm doing. This is my midlife crisis, people. Building shit. I don't think it's that bad. Hey, now let's prep this stuff up. I got to do some more grinding. I'm not going to put you through that. According to my caliper, I need to be spaced out 3.59 inches or 91.3 millimeters. For, you know, some people might be watching this over in Europe. And we use a lot of fractions here. I don't know why we're not metric, but I learned, you know, 3/8, 1/2, and all that. And I think we're probably the only people that do that. So 91.3 millimeters is what my Harbor Freight caliper says, which it may be off, you know, 300 thousandths of an inch. I'm not sure. So let's get this all lined up. I'm going to prep the welding, and I'm going to prep it the best I know how. And I learn from other people like you on YouTube. So let's get this thing all welded up here after I do all the prep work. I'm going to have to edit all that out. Okay, so as far as prep goes, I'm going to put one hell of a bevel on this because this is a 120, a 120 or 110 welder. And this is some pretty thick stuff. This is 3/8 inch plate. So I'm going to put one hell of a bevel on there and then get it into place. And I don't know how many passes I'm going to have to make. And it's probably going to look like a bunch of Kentucky Fried Chicken shit when I'm done. But so put a good bevel on that, grind all that scale off, grind this. According to other welders on YouTube, prep is everything. So spend your time, grind, measure twice, lightly tack in case you have to move it, and then kind of put it into place. So what I'm planning on doing here is I'm just going to line it up right with this straight edge. I'll have a little bit of overhang on that side, and I'm fine with that. But that's what I was saying, is you want to have a good straight edge. And then when you put these up, you know that your holes are going to line up across. See what I'm saying? All right. So I'm going to prep, and then I'll show you the prep of what I did. And I'm not going to bring you through all the grinding because, you know, it's boring shit to watch. All right, so what I did was I ground off the mill scale where we're going to be doing the welding at. And I have set this up here. I'll make sure it's all square here in a second. But I also ground off most of the mill scale down there. There's still a little bit. But you see that bevel? I kind of just raked off the side so that when you set it down, according to the welders on YouTube, you'll have a little up gap there, and I guess that'll increase the penetration. I can kind of see how that'll happen. I've also seen some people that would kind of gap this up a little bit. Maybe they'd weld it up in the air. So there's a small gap underneath there, and then you could fill in the entire bottom. But I think I'm going to go this route right here. And then when you bevel it, you kind of have that crack that shows up down there. And the idea is to shoot as much wire in there and keep it as steady and flowing and try to make it look like a stack of dimes, which I probably am not going to be able to do. But we're going to give it the old college try here. I'm also going to put my screw up on the, I think I need to flip the screw up to the outside. Because this is going to be in on the excavator. And so I'll flip that screw up to the outside. Or I could keep it on the inside. I might grind that down a little bit too. And yeah, it's kind of burred up there. I hate to put it on there and it screw up. Ideally, that's not going to be there on the next one. So this will be just for this little grading bar that I'm going to do. But fixing to weld this up. All right, so what I did was I ground off the mill scale where we're going to be doing the welding at. And I have set this up here. I'll make sure it's all square here in a second. But I also ground off most of the mill scale down there. There's still a little bit. But you see that bevel? I kind of just raked off the side so that when you set it down, according to the welders on YouTube, you'll have a little up gap there, and I guess that'll increase the penetration. I can kind of see how that'll happen. I've also seen some people that would kind of gap this up a little bit. Maybe they'd weld it up in the air. So there's a small gap underneath there, and then you could fill in the entire bottom. But I think I'm going to go this route right here. And then when you bevel it, you kind of have that crack that shows up down there. And the idea is to shoot as much wire in there and keep it as steady and flowing and try to make it look like a stack of dimes, which I probably am not going to be able to do. But we're going to give it the old college try here. I'm also going to put my screw up on the, I think I need to flip the screw up to the outside. Because this is going to be in on the excavator. And so I'll flip that screw up to the outside. Or I could keep it on the inside. I might grind that down a little bit too. And yeah, it's kind of burred up there. I hate to put it on there and it screw up. Ideally, that's not going to be there on the next one. So this will be just for this little grading bar that I'm going to do. But fixing to weld this up. All right, so I've been working on this a little bit. You can see the sun's going down. It's going down quick. And it's getting cold out here, so I'm going to have to make a part 2 to this video because I have a feeling this video is already like 20 minutes long. But let me show you what I've got done so far. So here's my bird shit welds that I'm talking about right there. Now, my breaker kept popping, but I suck as a welder anyway. But I just started welding like 6-7 months ago as a fun thing to do. And shit, I probably should have done that instead of driving a damn semi truck for 20 or 30 years. But I'd tell you why I didn't weld was I like running around the country in air conditioning. That's one of the reasons why I do it. So I watch welders, structural welders, and you guys earn your damn money. I tell you what. But, you know, I mean, not everybody can choose just to walk outside and say, hey, it's 50, 60 degrees, I'll work in that. But you can when you're retired. So this right here, and I'm not, I mean, you'll get there one day. Age, and it just keeps on ticking. Time keeps on ticking. So don't rush it. Have fun while you're out there. So this is where I've got so far. Got that welded. Remember when I said measure twice? So for the welders out here, this is the problem that I came in today. I finally found out what that shrinkage. So when I started welding, the top end started coming in. So I had to grind off. I didn't weld this side up completely, but I'm going to go off the side that I welded up, and I'm going to try to figure out what the hell's up with the breaker inside the house, because this little 110 keeps popping that 30 amp breaker. So we're going to do a part 2, and then whenever we get done, let me show you real quick what this is going to look like. So here's my angle iron right there, and then I'll just take that and weld it here, and then it'll be up like that. And then I'll be able to take my excavator and use that as a leveler. I'm going to improve on it. You're going to see a lot of videos on this right here. I'm going to improve on that. I've got this set of forks right here for the Chinese mini excavator. I'll probably improve up on that, but my main thing is this log splitter thing, because I think that'd be pretty cool. If you're wondering what type of excavator that I'm using for this, it is a H12 Chinese mini excavator by AGT. That's the one that I bought, and but I'm pretty sure that most of this shit will work on any of them. Anyway, stay tuned for part 2. Tell me what you think I can do better in these videos. Am I talking too much? I guess the only thing that I can really think that you might have gotten from this is drill slow. I'll see you on the next part 2 of this video. I wonder if Jerry saw this video. He's over there. He's about 400 miles that way, or 350. Jerry rigs it. See you later, man.